What's going on, guys? Today I'm bringing you my first 2022 NHL mock draft. Now for this, of course, we have to run the draft lottery. Right now Montreal has the best odds of first overall pick there. Not even 10 wins on the year. That's tough. Arizona second best, Seattle third, so on and so forth. Columbus there has a couple chances with the Blackhawks pick, although I do think the Blackhawks pick is lottery protected. So I'm going to run the simulation here, guys, and see who wins the top two picks. Of course, new draft lottery format, only the top two up for grabs. And Montreal hold on to the first overall pick. The Islanders there move up to number 2. That's a big jump, 8 spots. Everyone else there just dropping down by 1. Alright, guys, so with the first overall pick, and no surprise here, Montreal gets the right to draft Shane Wright. He is the consensus first overall pick. He has been for like the past couple of years now. Obviously, he had the exceptional stats at 15 years old. You can see there, scout rankings, every single one, unanimous first overall pick. Dynamic playmaker with a sniper's release. Virtually no easy way to stop him. So in his 15-year-old season, he had 66 points, 58 games, better than McDavid. Now, the next season he had canceled due to COVID, which I think kind of hurt his development a bit, because right now he's got 43 and 31, which is solid, but I think, you know, if he actually played his sophomore season, he'd be doing even better this year, and I think a lot of scouts probably understand that too. So, still best player in the draft, easy pick there by the Montreal Canadiens, who finally get their franchise number 1 center. Now, the number 2 pick here, guys, which of course New York Islanders lucked into, I had them taking Logan Cooley. Now, I would say 6 months ago he was like a top 10-ish pick, but he's really risen up the rankings. You guys can see here, everyone seems to have him between 2 and 5. Most people have him 2 or 3. Strong 2A4 with good numbers in the face-off circle. I feel like that would give the Islanders a great 1-2 punch. Barzal's the first-line center, Cooley as a second-line center, and that'd be good for about a decade. He's committed to the University of Notre Dame there. Right now, playing for the National Team Development Program, point per game. Under 18 team, you can see tearing it up there, 37 points in 27 games. Very, very good two-way player, does it all for you. 5'10" might be a bit smaller for a center, but he still has a couple years left to grow. Probably maxed out around 6 feet, which I think is fine. So, number 2 player there, no holes in his game. Kind of reminds me a bit of a Matty Beniers, who, of course, was number 2 last year. So, I think Islanders fans, like I said, lucked into this pick, will be very satisfied with Logan Cooley. Now, number 3 here, guys, you have the Arizona Coyotes, who are obviously in full rebuild. They're looking for a budding superstar to help build that team around. I have them taking Matthew Savoie. He's been a consensus top 3 pick in this draft the last couple of years. A very good player over the WHL. Scouting ranks here have him between 2 and 8, but I mean, pretty much all of them between 2 and 4, like Logan Cooley. I would say those two are probably interchangeable with the 2 and 3 pick. Right now, having a great season in Winnipeg with 55 points, 38 games. The year before that, he actually played in the USHL, where he put up pretty solid numbers. A bit smaller for a center at 5'9", but again, does have, you know, a couple years left to grow still. And he's really solid too. Like I saw one video of him like doing a workout. It was insane, actually, what he was pushing. So he's still a strong player, I think, even though he is a bit undersized there. Very, very skilled, amazing playmaker. I think Arizona very happy with this. Could have him, Gunther Keller, as a first line for the next decade. Should be solid. And now to the number 4 pick here, guys, of Seattle Kraken taking Finnish superstar Joakim Kemell, one of the best shooters in the draft class. Definitely a real prospect. You can see his draft rankings there, everywhere between like 2 and 10, but pretty much everyone has him in the top 5. Skilled winger with very good shooting skills, plays a lot of jump, can get creative with the puck to beat defenders, willing to shoot, entertaining player again. One of the better shooters in this draft class. Now for position right wing, I'm sure he can also play on the left side. Playing in the Finnish league right now, he's got 18 points in 23 games. So almost a point per game with a 17-year-old. That is super impressive. Obviously, Kraken not having a great year. They're looking for some great young players to build that team around. I feel like Joakim Kemell definitely fits that bill. And now the number 5 pick, I have the Devils adding some much-needed size up front in Juraj Slafkovsky. He's one of the top-ranked players in this draft class. And I'd say he's probably like the most prototypical power forward. You guys can see there, 6'4", 225 pounds. Everyone has him ranked there between like, well, actually somebody has him too, but that's for EU skaters. So overall, he's ranked between like 5 and 8. Again, I think he'd really help out the Devils because they got smaller kind of all-star centers in Hischier, in Hughes. He can kind of do it all for you, be that power forward, really complement those playmakers. Right now in the Finnish league, he's got 4 points, 21 games, 31 penalty minutes, which is quite a bit. So you know he's willing to mix it up, but he'll go into the dirty areas. He'll score for you, lay the body. I think he's going to do everything the Devils need, and it's not like they're really... I think he's going to do everything the Devils need, and it's not like they're really reaching for him or anything like that. Like, this race projected to go, so should just be a perfect fit. And now at the number 6 pick, we have the Buffalo Sabres, who's similar to Arizona, pretty much full rebuild, although they're doing a lot better than most people expected this season. I have them taking Brad Lambert. Now, I think this is a really nice pick for Buffalo. He was projected to go number 2 overall behind Wright for literally the past 2 years. It wasn't until like the start of this season where he started dropping in the rankings. I've seen people ranking him as low as like 12th in this draft, but Usually the guys who are ranked super high don't drop, much lower than the 6th, 7th pick. So some people might consider this a bit of a risky pick, but at this spot, I think it's really good value. Lambert definitely has one of the highest ceilings in this draft class, as well as some of the nicest hands. I can see his rank there. It's all over the place, anywhere from 2 to 18 by Craig Button, which, I don't know, that seems very low. You can see dynamic offensive threat, dynamic offensive player, great speed, can skate and stick handle so well. Was born in Finland, only played in Canada for 1 year, so he really is a Finnish player there. I think like his dad was a hockey coach or something, so he moved over to Finland for that reason. I can see in the Finnish league this year, he had 6 points on JYP or JIP, however you say that. 0 points in 4 games there with the Pelicans. So I think because he's had a bit of a slow start this year in the Finnish league, that's kind of what's dropped him down in the ranking. But in terms of the World Juniors, he put up 5 points in 2 games, which I think is pretty solid. So again, I'm thinking he's definitely got one of the bigger ceilings. It's not like the Buffalo Sabres are in win now mode. They can definitely afford to be patient with him and hope he turns out into the player everyone thought he was a year ago. Now, at the number 7 pick here, guys, I have the Philadelphia Flyers taking the first defenseman off the board in Simon Nemec. He's another high-ranked Slovakian prospect like Slavkovsky. Very solid all-around defenseman. You can see there, pretty big, 6'1", 182, nothing crazy. Rankings there anywhere from like 3 to 8, or I see one person actually has him at 11. Playing the Slovakian League, 23 points, 32 games, which is solid. But again, you got to remember the Slovakian League, not quite as high competition as like the Swedish League or the Finnish League. Most people consider him to be the number 1 defenseman in this draft class. I feel like Philadelphia has a pretty good group of young forwards right now. We could definitely add to that defense with Provorov, with Sanheim. And I think, honestly, they probably need some help there for Carter Hart, especially, too, if they trade Giroux. Definitely, go full rebuild. I feel like Simon Nemec could definitely be one of their, foundational pieces, build a new, young team around. And I just listened to how his name was pronounced, guys. I guess it's Shimon Nemec, so I was saying it completely wrong, but that's all right. And now here you got the number 8 pick of the Ottawa Senators. And I feel like they're going to go after their future number 1 center. And I feel like they're going to go after their future number 1 center in Connor Geekie. Ottawa's been looking for a number 1 center for a while now. I feel like Drake Batherson and Josh North, both solid players. Batherson, though, plays more on the wing. Norris, probably more of like a high-end 2C. Connor Geekie is kind of like that prototypical power forward. I would relate him to like a Ryan Getzlav maybe. 6'4" there, 205. His ranking anywhere between like 8 and even the 20s, but a very solid player, plays on a Winnipeg with Matthew Savoie. This year he's got 40 and 38, a little over a point per game. Last year he was just under, obviously playing when he was younger. So again, I think Ottawa's in desperate need of that 1C. He's that power forward. He can be that future 1C. I think Connor Geekie makes a lot of sense at this pick for Ottawa. And now, guys, the Blue Jackets have back-to-back picks at 9 and 10. With the 9th overall pick, I have them taking Danila Yurov here. Very solid Russian forward. You can see there, 6'1", 129 pounds. So decent size. His gut ranking anywhere between like 5 and 15, but most people definitely have him inside the top 10. Strong skater, proficient at reading the ice to find open space, then attacking it. Nice set of skill, strength, and shooting. Strong skater, good puck protection, tough to handle when given space to rush down the wing. So, he's that solid kind of all-around winger. I feel like Columbus definitely isn't worried about taking another Russian forward here after taking Chinikov a couple seasons ago. Looking at his stats here, you can see 0 points in the KHL so far this year, but usually young Russian players barely get played. Like, he's probably literally getting 5 minutes a night. The NHL, which is like the lower Russian league, he's got 17 and 13, which is pretty solid. So because he's got 0 points in 21 KHL games, and the fact that he's a Russian player, I think he's going to go a bit lower than some people have him ranked here, like 5 and 6. I think 9 makes a bit more sense for him, especially going to Columbus, who clearly, no fear there of drafting the Russians. Now, number 10 here, guys, Columbus' next pick. I have them taking David Jiricek. So, also the next defenseman taken off the board. I feel like pretty balanced approach by them. They get a 4, they get a defenseman. 6'3", 390 pounds, so a pretty big defenseman there. His rankings anywhere from 3 to 19, but most people have him in like the 5 to 8 range. So again, they're getting pretty good value here. Skating's the name of the game. He flows a fluid extension and clear recovery to impart power and precision to his forward ability. So good skater. Can walk the line, get a shot through traffic. It's shown the active defenseman doesn't hesitate when he can activate from the offensive blue line to become a threat from the high slot. So a good two-way defenseman, solid offensive game. Playing in the Czech League, he's got 11 points there in 29 games. 49 penalty minutes, which seems like quite a bit. Even the year before, he had 34 and 34, so averaging like a penalty every other game. So clearly you got a bit of a nasty side to him, but I think you want that in a defenseman. You look at a guy like Sider, you look at a guy like Hedman. You don't want them taking any nonsense in front of your goalie. So I feel like Columbus getting Jiricek and Europe here, 9 and 10. I feel it's such a nasty couple of back-to-back picks. At number 11 here, guys, we have my Detroit Red Wings taking another Russian who's fallen down a bit in the draft in Ivan Miroshnichenko. Tough name to say, but this dude's another one of the better shooters in the draft class. I can see 6'1", 185's decent size. His rankings there, kind of all over the place. I see he's as high as 3 by Puck Authority, as low as 30 by EliteProspects.com, but I think he's got such a great shot. You need to score goals to win games. Yzerman knows this. His elite skating, shot, and size makes him tough to manage for opposing teams. Ivan's elite skater, hits like a truck, unbelievable shot. So again, kind of does everything you want. He skates well, hits well, shoots well. Everyone seems to be kind of gushing though over that shot. Opportunistic goal scorer around the net, but also has a terrific shot that needs a little room to maneuver and release. So again, play him with, say, Larkin, Raymond, Bertuzzi. I don't really care who. He's going to help out our team for sure. Playing the VHL this year, you can see he's got 16 points in 31 games with 10 goals. So again, one of the better goal scorers in this draft class. I feel like Yzerman pulls the trigger and takes him at number 11. Now next year, guys, at number 12, with the Vancouver Canucks taking Frank Nazar. He's currently playing for the U.S. National Team Development Program, but he's committed to Michigan, who obviously has a great program, and stack team this year, could be a stack team again next year. 5'10", 174, so not crazy size or anything. You can see his ranking there. Anywhere from, I think, as high as 6 by Smart Scouting, all the way to as low as 18 by McKeen's Hockey. But a solid forward for you. Can also play wing, versatile. You can see he's got 20 points for now in 13 games, playing for the U.S. National Team Development Program. Last year at 42 on the under-18 team. Again, committed to Michigan. I feel like just a kind of solid all-around forward is definitely going to help out the Vancouver Canucks, especially if they do lose Brock Besser to a trade. I've heard they might trade Niels Hoglander. So I feel like they're definitely going to need some good young forwards to kind of fill in some gaps if they do start trading away guys. Also, too, committed to Michigan. Quinn Hughes is from Michigan. There's that element there. Probably doesn't matter, but figured I'd point it out. And next year, guys, number 13 with the perfect pick for the San Jose Sharks, taking Jonathan Lecker-Mackey, who actually plays on the same team as Will Eklund. So I feel like those two could be a dynamic duo for the Sharks in the future. Very skilled Swedish center, so I feel like if they play together, you probably move Eklund to the wing. I can see his scouting rank here, anywhere from 9 all the way down to like 21, which still is pretty decent value, I think, at the 13 spot. It makes a lot of sense. Again, plays for the same team as Eklund. Djurgården, I'm sure I said it wrong. 6 points in 14 games. Again, in a men's league, that's not too bad at all. The year before, on the under-20 team, 35 and 26 is very solid. On the World Junior team, he only had a point in 3 games, but only had 3 games to really show his worth. I think this pick makes a lot of sense for the Sharks. Like I said, why not reunite the two teammates and have yourself an offensive duo. Now with the 14th pick here, guys, the Winnipeg Jets gained some much-needed defensive help in Ty Nelson, one of the better offensive defensemen in this draft class. I feel like Winnipeg's forward group's already stacked. They got one of the best goalies in the league in Connor Hellebuck. Ty Nelson makes a lot of sense for them. So currently playing for the North Bay Battalion. He's got 30 points in 40 games this year. Again, very solid offensive defenseman. I saw a clip where he literally split a puck in half. So he's got a very hard shot as well. Can definitely be useful on that power play. His rank here, anywhere from 14 to 34 by Bob McKenzie. But I think he'll go higher than that. I think he's, like I said, one of the better defenseman prospects in this draft class. Winnipeg definitely wanted a defenseman. So I think great pick by them here, and hopefully it works out. And now number 15 here, guys, the Dallas Stars taking Isaac Howard, American-born forward, very solid offensive player. You can see he's also in the National Team Development Program, 5'10", 183. His ranking there anywhere from 10 to 30, which, again, the later you get in the draft, the more kind of spread apart the rankings are going to be for these guys. Deceptive shooter, changing the angle on goalies for working pucks home. Offensive dynamo. Howard has a natural instinct for scoring, so good shot on him. You can see 15 points, 13 games right now on that national team program, so over a point per game. 40-35 on the under-18 team. On the under-18 World Juniors, he had 4 and 5. So again, I think Dallas here can definitely afford to just take best player available. I think Howard is the best player available, so good pick for him. And maybe it could be a nice kind of complimentary piece to Wyatt Johnson when they both finally make the NHL. As the final pick here, guys, in the mock draft, I'm only doing the non-playoff teams. At number 16 with the Anaheim Ducks taking Rutger McGroarty, another National Team Development Program American player who's also committed to Michigan, so you guys know I'm a fan of him. Rankings there anywhere from 14 to late 20s, or actually 32 there by Smart Scouting. I wonder if that's like a Boston scouting place. So McGroarty shines in the offensive zone, displaying elite goal scoring and playmaking ability. He's a slick puck handler. So again, a solid offensive player. Committed to Michigan. Right now he's got 7 and 11 on the national team. He had 33 and 29 on the under-18 team. I feel, again, Anaheim can afford to just take best player available here. Now, I will say this final spot was a bit of a toss-up for me between him and Marco Kasper, but McGroarty committed to Michigan. I had to give the edge to him. So there it is, guys, the first edition of my 2022 NHL mock draft. I'll definitely be doing a couple more, one for sure after the draft lottery, and there might be another in there as well. And the final one, of course, will have all 32 first-round picks. But that's it for this one, guys. If you enjoyed it, leave that thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit the sub button down below. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.